Hi everyone, welcome to day 2 of Devilish dinner. So I just wanted to show you really quick, I added red veins to the eyeball utensils and I just used a fine red Sharpie marker, so I hope you can see that. And I have not glazed these yet, I'm not going to do that till the very end. So today we are going to make a Frankenstein. Quotes around the stein. So let me show you that. Here is the Frankenstein, and inside is either witch's brew or Bloody Mary, and some ice cubes, if you can see that. And the puffy paint is actually still drying, so I think I got a little bit on the back of the stein there, the top of my fingers. But there's the Frankenstein we are going to make today. So again, I'm going to do the voiceover. I hope it works. And so here is your mummy plate, eyeball utensils, and Frankenstein. So I hope you guys really like this. I'll have pictures at the end, and I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. Thanks for watching. First thing I want to do is take your green Craftsmart or other brand clay and roll it out as flat as you want it. Then what you'll do is take your blade and trim it down. So once you trim that down, you'll want to use your plate as kind of a reference in terms of scale. So you'll see what I'm going to do after I cut it, and then I roll it up. I'm going to hold it up against the plate just to see, oh, don't mind the dog hair. Boise likes to participate in my craft making. So again, once you roll it up and decide if that's the perfect size you want the stein, again, just kind of look at it from a scale perspective and trim it as necessary. So I looked at it, I thought, well, it's kind of large, so I'm gonna cut it down again. So I did this at least, oh geez, I don't know, about 5 times before I found the perfect size. So again, just keep doing this like I'm showing in the video, which I could have edited out, but hey, I'm sure you guys are enjoying laughing at me. Trim it down again. And if there's a better way of making this, obviously you guys just follow that, but I've never made this before, so this is kind of how I made it. So what you'll do is seal your ends together, either by making sure that you kind of use TLS or Bake Bond or whatever the case is. So then now I'm going to make the bottom of the stein, and I just happen to have the perfect size roller that I used as kind of a cutter, cookie cutter I should say. And then what I'll do is just kind of pull up the edges just to make sure it's a little smooth, but I know I'm going to cover that up anyways. So as you can see, I'm smoothing it out, putting the plate aside because it's in the way, zooming in the camera because it's always fun to make everyone dizzy. And then once you smooth it out, you will place the stein or the cup itself on to make sure it fits. And again, you can use TLS to make sure it adheres, or what you can do is just kind of, what's the word? I'm trying to think of the right word, but you're going to blend it. There you go. Blend it so that they stick together. So I think I can just edit out a whole bunch of this. So yeah, guys, don't laugh. I also used a kind of clay tool to blend it together as well. So I'm probably trying to look for it right now. Oh, look, there it is. So blend it together. And once that's done, I just took a piece of scrap red clay, and then I placed it in the center of the stein, and I'm using my ball end tool and then just pushing it down. You don't necessarily have to use red. You can use any scrap color you want, but I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out in the end, so I thought it was just safe to put red in there. And you could probably fill it up a little more if you want as well, so you're not wasting any glue, resin, or whatever liquid you are going to place inside. And as you can see, I decided, oh, I put not enough in there, so pushed a little more in there. So keep doing that until you have the desired size, or desired height that you want the stein or liquid to be inside. Next, take the excess clay that you would use to cut your cup, and now we're going to make the handle of the stein. And again, length is completely up to you. You'll see that I actually trimmed it down and curled up the end or the bottom of the stein. You don't necessarily have to do that. I just decided it would be a pretty effect and I didn't want to trim it anymore, otherwise I probably would have trimmed it too short. So it's probably a little too fancy for a Frankenstein, but again, that's up to you. And I adhered it using Bake Bond, but you can also use TLS if you want. Now take black clay, roll it out into a strip and trim it down. And you'll see I'm just making some jagged marks using my blade, and that's for the hair. So you can just attach it by blending it or pressing it onto the top of your stein, or you can also use TLS or Bake Bond. Next, what I'm going to do is make the top of the stein, again using black clay. I just flattened it using my roller again, or a cookie cutter. I just cut it out and it got a little stuck there. Don't mind that. Don't look away. Anyways, and then I'm adjusting it now, kind of smoothing the edges. And then what I'm going to do once I've smoothed out the edges is pick it up and place it on the top of the stein just to make sure it fits. You don't want any of the green part of the stein showing. So I've adjusted it a few times as well, kind of flattened it out. Nope, there I go, flatten it out. And then placing it on and adjusting it. Still doing it, and a lot of silence. So keep doing this until you get the desired effect. Again, you'll see, not again, but you'll see those fingerprints. You can smooth that out later, right before you bake. And there it is, almost finished. Now I didn't show this because I needed to cut it down, but you'll just get white clay and black clay, roll it into a snake, cut it to same size or like sizes, and press them onto your mug to make the eyes and the pupils. Very similar to what we did with the plate yesterday. Next, just take some green clay now and again roll it into a snake. And what we're going to make is kind of eyebrows for Frankenstein. So I just placed it right above the eyes, and I'm going to take my clay tool that has a sharp end or a flat edge, and then I'm going to furrow his eyebrows. But first I'm going to adjust it because I don't know if it's just OCD, perfectionist, who knows. Anyways, just kind of press it in the middle there so that you can create that furrow, and start pushing it and adjusting it. And you'll see that I don't like it in the middle. I want it to kind of bend down or angle down a little bit. So I'm just pushing it, and on the sides there, I'm just kind of curving it down a little bit. There's many ways to do this, but I kind of like this effect. And sorry that my camera's just not focusing. It was a rough night for the camera there. So once you get that desired effect, I didn't show that, but I just made a little gash using my flat edge clay tool. And then I took some white clay, made some long white strips, and I'm applying the stitches over the gash that I made. You can omit this step, but I think it gives a very nice effect. And you can either use your blade or your tool to place that on. Same thing with your black clay to make a mouth. Roll it into a long, thin snake. I was about to say strip. And then place it onto the mug. And just use your ball end tool to, you know, kind of arch it and make it a little askew. Again, some little thin strips. Adding that on and pressing that in. And make sure you press it in firmly so that when you bake it, and if you decide to quench it, you're not having any problems of that falling off. And I'm actually surprised my hands were this steady. In fact, I just had a cup of coffee, a large cup of coffee, so I'm really surprised. But yeah, just keep doing this and apply as many or as little as you want. And I think I add about 4 of that if I'm not mistaken, but you can always go to the very end there. And keep adding that. I should just have music or cut it down, but it's a little too late to cut it down right now. So I hope you guys are laughing and you're just enjoying this tutorial because it's so much fun to do voiceovers and make a complete fool of yourself. So on to the next part. Get some purple clay, and this is optional, but I wanted to cover up that seam on the bottom. So I just rolled out purple clay into a strip and cut it down. placed it over the seam, and I'm using my flat edge clay tool and just making some indents just to give it a little bit of texture. Last but not least, after you've baked your Frankenstein, you can use whatever medium you want, paint, puffy paint, Elmer's glue, or resin, and add the witch's brew or Bloody Mary liquid inside and to the top of your stein. And as an effect, what I'm going to do is also add in ice cubes. Now, I got the ice cubes. They're actual vase fillers, and you can buy them at Michael's. And then I'm just going to add that to the top there. And I'm just kind of dragging it down so it looks like it's dripping out of Frankenstein's head. Obviously, the more you put on there, the longer it's going to take to dry. I would not suggest doing this before you bake it. And with my tweezers that I got at Menards, which is a local hardware store, I'm just adding in the little ice cubes. See how handy that mummy plate's coming? I didn't think I was going to put ice cubes on it, but I did. So just add as many or as little as you want. I think I added 3. And again, you can buy those little fillers in the, I think it's in the plant section at Michael's. And again, I apologize for my camera not focusing. So here you go. Once everything is completed, you can glaze it once it's dried. And you've completed your Frankenstein with Bloody Mary mix or witch's brew, whatever you want to call it. But I hope you enjoy it. Make sure you clean it off with all that dust I have on there and glaze and enjoy. So stay tuned for tomorrow's day 3 of our Halloween spooktacular 7 days of Devilish dinner. We are going to be making a dish tomorrow. So, yep. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'm going to list the materials in the down bar. Thanks everyone for watching, and again, I hope you enjoyed this, and please do not laugh at my silly excuse of a voiceover.